up, my homies? I figured today we would make a video about Marauders and going over some tips and tricks, things that I wish I had known whenever I first started playing the game. And I'm just going to kind of go through a game and give you guys my advice and just kind of chop it up into a format that you can kind of get. So the first tip I have is this. Check your daily contracts every time you log on. This seems really obvious and probably stupid, but the ones that you want to focus on the most are these ones. Kill 6 personnel with well-rod pistol. Now, it's not like specifically you're going to have the exact same one. What I mean by that is look for the kill quests. Like, it's usually going to be like, kill 4 guys with an MP40. That's easy. That's great. Obviously, the more obscure the weapon is, the harder that's going to be. But typically speaking, like the well-rod pistol is not an extraordinarily rare weapon, right? It's just a simple handgun. If you don't get it, hey, it resets in 2.5 hours for me. These obviously last for 24 hours at the start of the day. But regardless, right now, those are the ones we're going to focus on. Now, there's other quests like this, Light Recon and Shopping Tour. The problem with these two are you have to know the map to be able to do these. This is a pretty good amount of money. The problem is, like I said, you have to get on that map, which is the first issue, is getting the specific map of Asteroid Mine or Space Station, right? And then you have to find, examine spaceport cargo. I don't know where the fuck that's at. I don't know where that's at. I can't even tell you where that's at. I'm just saying, like, these are the kind of missions where you have to be on a certain place in the map and examine specific things. These are not, like, very well explained to the player. So even if I was to try and go over that in this video, it'd be kind of difficult without physically showing you where to go. And it would take a very long time to go over specifically each of these maps and all the little intricacies, because there are quite a few maps in this game, surprisingly. So, like I said, tip number 1, always go for the kill quests if possible. You might have some where you can get multiple kill quests, but you always want to focus on these, and this is a pretty good reward. $8,000 is pretty great. Some influence is awesome. A little bit of XP, actually more than the other two, which is great. These ones don't even give money. Oh yeah, they do. But yeah, a little bit less money than these two, but you're gonna get a full durability gun that's probably gonna be worth 12 grand, and some 7.62, which is late game ammo. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So always check your daily contracts. Tip number 2, get me out of here, dude, is come over to your crafting. And you're going to look at lockpicks. Lockpicks are made from metal scrap. Metal scrap is extremely easy to find. They stack in up to 8 per slot. You want these because you can make the lockpicks with them, and you know, you can make guns with them and stuff like that. Certain guns need metal scrap. What is it like? One of the things does. Anyway, my point is, you're going to need metal scrap, right? But lockpicks are extremely useful for the obvious reason that you're going to be able to access areas you wouldn't be able to otherwise, such as locked doors, obviously, but a little bit more uncommon is the locked chest. Both of these places, the locked doors have rooms that have a lot of loot in them, and the locked chests have a lot of loot in them just by themselves. You want to get into these. Typically what I'll do, especially with a loadout that I remotely care about, I'll take in a lockpick or two. Now, if you want to know how to split lockpicks, what you do is you click on the lockpick, you press control, and then it'll split. So this game, if I wanted to risk a little bit more, I could take 2. I'll take 2 because why not? You never know what you can find. I've had games where I've went into a locked room, and on the other side of the locked room is another locked room. There's also a thing in the game that I can't really explain easily, but there's a blowtorch. Basically, there are vaults in this game, and they have extraordinarily good loot, but you need to have a blowtorch, and a blowtorch takes up a whole weapon slot or a big spot in your inventory. So this is worth carrying around or keeping if you find. If you find a blowtorch, keep that thing, man, because that's super, super good for you. The third thing I'm going to talk about is the items that you want to prioritize early game. Obviously, we talked about the metal scrap. The second thing that you want to prioritize, and honestly, more importantly, is synthetic scrap. This stuff, I have 1 left right now. You use it for bandages. You use it for armor. You use it for bags. You use it for even things like these containers. It's used for a lot of stuff. You get the point. Most importantly, meds. Crap this. Meds. You need to have synthetic scrap. They, just like the metal scrap, the synthetic scrap stacks in up to 8, just like the metal does. Synthetic scrap is just as common though, which is great, but it's basically duct tape, right? It looks like fucking duct tape to me. I'm gonna call it duct tape. Duct tape. If you find this stuff, pick it up. Prioritize the metal scrap and the synthetic scrap. If you have to choose between the two to keep, definitely choose the synthetic scrap. It's way more valuable. It's way more value than a lot of items that are 1 slot. for sure. Like, and I'm not just talking in value of like, oh, let's sell it to this guy. I just mean like, hey, the crafting things that you need to craft, super, super crazy important. A side note is this chick, not chick, Captain Wolf, he will spawn with armor, much like all the other traders. They always will have this level 6 armor. So if you need armor that's a little bit better than the pouch rig, which is the free stuff on the rust bucket, you can always buy the flak vest from him. Another thing I want to do is, and mention, if you're going into a raid and you think you might be in it for a little bit longer, you might want to take things like water or chocolate. That will remove fatigue. So if you go to I, after you right click on an item, you can see what the item does. Small bottle of water, drink to remove fatigue. Fatigue is what you will incur over the course of a game, because as you're sprinting, as you're aiming at your sights and all these things, it's going to put a white bar on your stamina, which will make it so that you have less stamina over the course of the game. If you drink water, you eat during the game, whatever, that's going to put your stamina back up to full usage, and you're going to be able to fully utilize that bar. And it's not like Tarkov where you got to eat and drink outside of the raid. Once you're out of the raid, you're done. Like, you don't have to worry about it. So the tip that I have for you guys when you get on the rust bucket, this is only on the rust bucket, this is all you can do. There's a free loadout that will always spawn on the boat or the ship. It's going to be the Luger P08, 30 shots of 9mm, and the pouch rig, which is a level 5 piece of armor with 4 slots. Now, this is basically going to be used for pretty much the equivalent of a scav in Tarkov. I know I'm comparing this game a lot to Tarkov, but it's a game that I played. I think it's a game that a lot of us are going to hear as compared to this. It's another extract shooter. But basically, in that game, there's a free loadout called a scav, which is what you get every 15 minutes. This is here every single game. So if you're getting your ass whooped every single game and you just can't seem to work it out and you're like, I'm done wasting my money, I don't want to do this anymore, like, is there any way I can play for free? This is how you do it. A 9mm pistol, 30 shots plus the 8, so you've got 38, and a little bit of armor to go in and kill the AI. So that's what you're going to want to do, is focus on killing the AI if you're taking that in. One more thing I want to mention to you guys is if you get shot up while you're outside, just floating around in space, and you're worried that your ship's going to randomly explode while you're in here, it's not. It's going to be okay. It'll stay at the health it's at. It can't be breached or boarded while it's docked. But we do have it. It's at 50%. This thing's low. My advice to you is this. There are 3 fire extinguishers. They take up a weapon slot. So you're going to have to swap to them. And you use them. And this is what heals... There's a little delay there. This is what heals your ship. These have a really low durability. They only heal for about maybe 15-20% of that. There's 3 of them on your ship. You have one there, and one here. Usually what I'll do if I'm getting shot up or, you know, lit up on the way in here, I'll dock my ship and then I'll repair it once I'm here. Now, it's going to make you a little bit late into the raid, so to speak, because obviously you're busy repairing your ship and not on the space station or wherever you landed, so you don't have that kind of time. And as you can see in the bottom right there, since I'm sprinting back and forth, I'm getting that white bar already. Quite a bit of fatigue that I've incurred on my character. We're going to swap back to our primary weapon, and then let's get in here. My biggest tip for you guys is this. Whenever you get into a game, be aware that your spawn is probably the most likely space that you're going to run amongst another player. So whenever you're looting up, just be mindful of that and kind of have an ear out for nearby what's going on around you. Like that right there is another dock. That means that another player could have spawned right here. There's already a helmet on the ground. This could have been a natural spawn, right? Okay. And you want to keep in mind of where you spawned at, too. Because if you get lost in here, then you're going to be really screwed. But basically, I know that we spawned here. We spawned here. That's a very good distinction. But I kind of keep a general mental compass best I can. I know on this map... Oh, here we go. And right now. So if you want to, you could just leave. I have a full inventory. I could just get out of this and be cool with that, right? But we're going to stay and we're going to try and use the lockpick. Or 2 lockpicks. I know on this map there's a spot where you can definitely use them. Let's see if I can find out where it's at. I know it's near the center of the map here. We're We're going to definitely have to go through some things to get to it if we want to go for it, but we can make it happen, I think. Really, that helmet, I think that was a player. Did you guys see that? You had to have seen that, right? It's turned into a fucking horror game. That helmet was laying there. That's very odd. That seems to me like an indication of a player. That's a Marauder. It's got to be. Right? So the next question we have here is that an AI or is that a real player? Let's go find out. And if we kill these guys, we're definitely getting out of here. Where did they go? Sounds like they're right around the corner here. Oh. Yeah, let's back up. Sounds like we might have got one. We got the other one. Okay. So now, we're going to want to back up and heal. Could have been players. I'm not too sure, but let's heal up. That first aid kit's doing as best it can. Let's drink some water too. Water's going to heal us a little bit because we're fatigued. And then we're going to bandage up as well. Okay, this is going to be as full as we can get. We've definitely drawn attention to the area with that shooting. Oh, I bet that wasn't our player. Let's see what this guy is, right? This was a real player. Okay, so he's got a full inventory, so that's kind of my indication. He's got a ton of food. Let's eat it. We might as well. Why not? Right, it's going to heal us up a little bit. So these were both real players. Okay, and he's got a great backpack. So, and a much better gun. We're going to drop this gun, I think, and take the SVD. Really good armor. Drop the armor for sure. Equip his. There's no weight limit in this game either. So that's worth noting. Now, this is the tricky part. The commando backpack situation and everything else. What do we want to keep from here? All that. Basically, I'm going to keep the sheet. I'm going to keep the toolkit. I do want to keep his gun. I don't care about the coin too much. Can we not drop this? Guess it won't let me. We've got plenty of this other stuff. I really don't want to get on my lockpicks. Chocolate bar. Crackers. Yeah, we'll do that. We got a silver coin. I've got plenty of fuel. So, like I said, right now we're just kind of prioritizing what do we need, right? We'll take the bandages. And then we're good. We're good, right? Drag that over and we have everything from this guy. This guy, however, what does he have? He has more coins. He's got gunpowder, which is good. He's got cable, which is also pretty decent. We do have 2 bandages. Let's just get rid of it. We'll grab the cables. And you know what? We'll just drop that. Because I don't really need it. You can also control click items to grab them quicker. This is pretty decent stuff what we have here, right? Not bad at all. So, I would like as much of his ammo as I can get. Can I grab any more of that? It will let me grab more, so that's good. So, that's pretty good. Alright. We're getting the fuck out of here, boys. So we killed 2 players. One more thing. Okay, this is something I wanted to mention real quick. Now, let me see something. This guy. He was a captain, okay? Larry David USS Oberon, the Rust Bucket. So it tells us this kind of ship, everything else, and it's an airlock access key card. One of the things I want to tell you, if you're playing with a friend, if you die and you're the host of the lobby, whatever, you're the crew captain, and your buddy lives, tell him to pick up your key card. Because if you don't have a key card to insert in here, you can't get out. You cannot get out using your own ship. He's going to have to search the level for a drop pod, which you can find drop pods scattered throughout the level. So, that's the best tip I can give you with that. Another thing I'm going to mention while we're waiting on everything to load here, because it's basically just a glorified loading screen, right? Is if you do craft something like the better ship, there's a ship called the Scout. I'll try to show it in the crafting menu here. If you do happen to craft that, one thing I want you to keep in mind is if I would have died right here, I would have lost that ship. So meaning all that investment that I just did is gone. We are lightly damaged because on the way in I was taking some damage. Another thing I want to mention, dude, I'm just thinking all these things just right now. I'm so glad I'm recording this live, because if not, it would have totally just passed my mind. If you're getting damaged and your ship's just getting obliterated, right? Don't be afraid that your ship's just going to spontaneously combust. Your ship will never be destroyed. You heard that right. Your ship cannot be destroyed. If somebody blows you up, like to the point where you think you're screwed, you're at 0%, all that means is that your ship cannot move anymore. Okay? Now, what will happen is, if you're on the ship when it has 0% health and it's still taking shots, you will periodically take damage. So you can die while you're in your ship, but your ship will not die, right? The rust bucket, I just want to mention, is infinitely, like, you can never lose this ship. But if you have other ships and you die, you are going to lose those. So, yeah, don't be afraid that if your ship's getting super low, like, you're going to instantly die. You're going to take some damage for sure if you're getting pelted at, but you're not going to just instantly blow up or something like that. Don't be afraid of that. If that happens and you feel like you're about to die, whatever, you want to get out on a drop pod. Make sure you head for the drop pod. If your ship's about to be at that critical health and you're still far from the station, get on the drop pod and go. And the other thing I want to say is this: you cannot dock at a station in a drop pod. So if I was to try and dock there with a drop pod, it wouldn't let me. You have to use a space ship. So that means you're either going to have to leave the game through an extraction point or breach somebody else's ship at that point and take their ship into the space station. But yeah, here's the ship I'm talking about. So you've got stuff like this, right? The Interceptor frigate, or where's it? The Scout. The Scout, I could craft another Scout right now. The Scout's a pretty decent ship. Problem is, if I die, I lose my Scout. This is a pretty big investment from me. I mean, yeah, I've got a decent amount of fuel, I've got a decent amount of metal sheets, but synthetic scrap I don't have a ton of, and the cables are kind of rare. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much going to be it today for my tips and tricks for Marauders. I hope that this little gameplay video helped you out, and I hope that it helps you kind of figure out your way through Marauders, and I hope it's one of the better tips and tricks videos for you guys. Let me know if there's anything else you want to know, and let me know if there's anything I didn't mention. Put that in the comments below for somebody else who might be looking for some tips and tricks. Thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you viewing. If you remotely enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Peace!